Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica artwork here. We have another picture. And we're sort of starting back up on this one. So there's an order of operations we want to follow with this stuff. We're going to do finalizing of the line art first. There's a couple elements of that we want to shore up. After that, we will do our weathering effects. So let's first just take a look at the line art. There's a lot of elements here. Don't really know how we're gonna merge them all, but we'll worry about that later. I'd like to get some, I gotta turn this up. I would like to get some accent colors onto Neoptolemus as well, because right now he's just black, like we had for Achilles when we started on that. So we're gonna want to add some more to that. Let's put some bones in this. All right. Let's see what else we got. This is weird. This whole greave should be smaller, really. It definitely shouldn't go all the way down to that part of his foot. Something more like that. Oh yeah, and see his eyeball, it looks like we baked in the black element, which I don't know if that's going to work or not. We'll see what happens with that. What else do we want to fix here? Now's the time to add any extra details, I guess. His helmet looks fine. I'd like to move this slightly so it matches, so it's actually centered. Good. Love the inside of his shield. This musculature we want to change a little bit. I see what our problem was at the time. Alright, yeah, let's go back to what we had then. The bicep is kind of like compressed, but we don't want it to look like it runs into the other part of his arm, so why does this have a different texture than it had before? I don't know. We want to give him a little bit bigger biceps than he had a second ago. Yeah, because this one's on the right side is bigger than the other side. But also it's, I don't know, behind, whatever. It's good. These guys are fine. They really don't need to have a lot of details. Actually, they need to not have a lot of details, I should say. The ship looks good, and if you recall, this ship reappears in the chapter. Pay attention to this very distinct front section, and you can see that it reappears in this chapter right here with the same netting as well on the top, because that's Odysseus's ship, as depicted in a pretty famous piece of pottery where it's the scene in the Odyssey where he stuffs his crew's ears and then he ties himself to the mast, and there's that great eyeball motif on the front. And so I use that kind of like an art history reference again. So it appears in this chapter because it actually is Odysseus and Diomedes who go and get Neoptolemus and bring him back in their ship. So I figured it would be cool if it really is Odysseus' ship that's here from that other picture, because it would totally make sense that they used Odysseus' ship to do it. One thing I did want to fix is if you zoom out, we can see that the wall is crooked. So let's fix that. Oh wait, we also want to turn on his outline again. Oh, and we should, because we adjusted his outline, so let's fix the spots where it exists. Looking pretty good. The one thing I don't really like is that he doesn't really have a neck, so let's turn this back off. We're gonna do a quick change here. And if we're moving stuff over other layers, we're actually going to cut this and paste it so that we don't have to worry about erasing parts. So yeah, let's give him something more like this. We're going to stretch his head a little bit also. Now, unfortunately, we're losing a lot of this great detail on his helmet. And we should also probably finish the helmet now that it's not going to be behind the sword. Big improvement, I think. Okay. Now we gotta just do some damage control with this stuff. Fix the layers that are affected. Let's make a new layer for the damage control stuff. And okay. We gotta lose some of these bones. doesn't give a lot of room for like the whatever kind of muscle you call that. Well, let's just see what it would happen if we yeah, I guess that's good. Now, once we get all these in line, we can reintegrate it. I think, honestly, we're just going to get rid of the details that were behind here. Let's keep a backup of it, but just put it back here. Yeah, let's just erase what is intersecting with the sword. Because it's like we already had those details on Achilles, so it's not like we really need it. And it still exists, technically. Like, you can see a little bit of it, so it's fine. Let's just confirm one more time. Everything's good to go. Good. 1, 2, 3. Merge. Okay. Now, I would like to erase out where this black is, but I don't know if this is going to work properly. Let's leave that for now, because it might actually end up just working for us anyway. See, now you can see the difference between where his head was and where his head is. So we're going to just delete everything here. We'll redraw his head in the background layer. The concern with the eyeball having the burned in black section is that it's not going to work right when we mask everything, but it's masking onto a black layer, so it might actually still, we might get like a serendipitous thing, so we're not going to screw with it because it might not need to be fixed. Typically that would screw us, but it's kind of like one situation where it might not, where it might work out, so we could get lucky. I'm trying to decide if I want to get rid of this line. No, I'm going to keep it. Looks too much like... Now, let's go through here. Great, much better. I hate to say it, but his head is looking a little small now, actually, which not the biggest problem, because we could just undo like the last 5 steps. It's not that big of a deal. All we did was color in the background. And if we go back, step back far enough to when his head was on a different layer, there you go. Now we don't have to redo any of the work. Good. We have it actually perfectly cut out for us. So we'll just make this bigger. And again, this is the time to admit these things to ourselves. You know, it's very easy to kind of get used to the picture and not question it. But we really should be kind of questioning everything. So we're going to step back further to when we still had these details on his head. And that's even better because when we make it bigger, they might show up past the edge of the sword. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe even a little bigger. They kind of had like cartoonish heads in Greek pottery as well. Like they would be a little bit oversized. So yeah, I think this is better. And let's also make his neck thicker, since we're here. More like this. Great. And now I would say that this works. Yeah. Okay. No harm done. We lost a little bit of time, but it's better to do it now than to, number one, not admit it to ourselves for the entire picture and have it end up being worse. Or number two, not admit it to ourselves until the picture's almost done and then have to redo all that stuff later. It's better to just get it done, over with. We need to turn the bones on for this. So now we literally lost all of the details on his headdress, but I think we gained a lot more. And we can come up with some cool things to do with the accent color on his headdress anyway. Maybe put something along the upper edge instead of the bottom. Good. Now we go back through this same process. The thing I always say is that if you can't do it a second time, you had no business being able to do it in the first place. Which I end up having to say a lot when we do things in Souls games, because that's my thing, is like, I'll always go back to the bonfire to cash in the souls rather than try to just keep pressing forward just because I don't want to do all the same stuff over again. And the same applies to artwork. Like, a lot of times you have to redo some stuff, but doesn't, that's just a part of the process, you know? Great. Okay, looks good. I want to fix a quick thing here. the spot where we cut off the original layer came back with the undo, so let's fix that. Good. Now what we gotta do is, we wanted to delete the text. I don't like that. We want to fix the border. And what else? I think that's about it. Oh, we wanted to fix the Greek's wall here. It looks like that's pretty easy. All we gotta do is take this. Which is the one that does, is it this? No. I thought it was this. Why doesn't this work anymore? If you grab this part, yeah, there you go. It's not letting me do it from so far away, but I kind of need to be that far away in order to see the right angle. Yeah, it looks about right. Now we just have to do it for the lower one. Good. Now, let's do something for the... Okay, couple of things I want to change. First of all, I don't really like this accent thing we did. Second, these corner pieces aren't going to work for what we're doing later. So let's take all this and this. We'll put it in a group and turn it off. This is the ground plane. Okay, we're going to turn off the left and right. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of having the top and the bottom even be the same. So let's design a couple of borders. Okay. We're going to design it the same style as this one, even though I don't think we're going to stick with the design, or rather the color.